this project I've been working on for the last year called WebRTC, and just kind of do a quick demo of all the pieces that have kind of come together in the last week on it, and I think it makes for a kind of really exciting demo. So who here's heard of WebRTC? Raise your hand. Okay, cool. So how about half of you haven't? So I'll just do a quick you know what, actually I'll explain that later. First I want to start off with the demo. So what I have here is a very simple whiteboard app that I built with WebRTC data channel. So you can see it's a little whiteboard. We can draw stuff. I'm not going to win any awards for my art skills here, but you know, if you guys come to go to this URL on your laptop right now, you can also join me in this session. And here I actually have an Android device. This is Justin's Nexus 6 that's also here in the room, so I can kind of keep this guy body from my phone. Let's see. If the network cooperates. Is anyone else in here with me? Drop it. Let me refresh it in case it froze. Every time I refresh, more stuff shows up on this guy. Nice. Place on drawing these ears here. Cool. So it's working. Anyway, so the point is, this is WebRTC data channel, right? Which is you know, this like little used part of WebRTC that most of us you know aren't as interested in. But I think there's actually lots of cool stuff you can build with this. This is one example, right? But we can we can get crazier here with this demo. So we can actually drop multimedia onto this page. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. Here's a cat picture. What happened there? Oh, I think it's the resolution of this.
Yeah, it's a Zoom thing or something like.
Oh, geez. Okay. Let me try to fix the display here. There we go. Okay, that's better. All right. I can drop like some other pictures on here. And what's going on here? What's going on is I'm actually not sending the image across the data channel to everyone who's connected, because you know, if there were 50 peers in this room, we would be sending the data 50 times, right? And because the way this works is full mesh right now, so everyone who's looking at the whiteboard is connected to everyone else. So rather than that, I'm actually just sending across the hash of this content, and then everyone in the whiteboard room is actually getting it over WebTorrent. So WebTorrent is BitTorrent over WebRTC data channels. So to like really drive this point home, I'll show you what I mean. We can actually take the hash of the cat picture, one of these cat pictures that we added up here, and we can copy it into a little demo site I set up over here at Instant.io. And when we paste this in, the cat was actually downloaded over BitTorrent across domains. So this is using, like I said, WebTorrent, the WebTorrent protocol. So, what was that?
I think it's the lighter.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, let's see, what else I want to show here? So I guess there's a couple interesting things here. One is that you know, these sites are on different domains, so the same origin policy doesn't apply to data channels, which is kind of neat. I think the assumption is that, you know, if two different sites do the offer answer exchange, the WebRTC offer answer exchange, and they want to talk to each other, and so there's no need to do same origin, which is kind of cool. Which means that, you know, everyone of you who's in this whiteboard app now is seeding these pictures to anyone who wants to download them, which is kind of cool. We can. Oh yeah, the other thing I want to show is video, so I'll make sure that before I forget. So, can I keep doing videos in here? So that's pretty cool. Anyone else have their speakers up? Because then we can hear that it's actually working. There we go. And again, this works over WebTorrent, so I can actually, you know, copy the hash over, and we can see that this content is on the network. So right now, this is using a tracker server, which is centralized. You know, it's acting as the signaling server. But eventually, I think we could actually build a WebRTC DHT, or distributed hash table, which is actually how BitTorrent works today. And then you don't even need to have a central tracker coordinating the peers amongst themselves and introducing peers to each other. That's something that isn't implemented yet. Okay, one last thing I want to show. One thing, so I'm really glad that Justin talked about this at I/O today. I wasn't actually at I/O, but I heard that there's some discussion about WebRTC everywhere, or WebRTC beyond the browser. So in native apps, in desktop and mobile apps, in addition to the browser. And so I actually want to show WebTorrent working across outside the browser as well. So we can actually copy the same hash here, which identifies this torrent, into this terminal command here, which I have is a node program. We can run, it's called a WebTorrent hybrid. So this is a BitTorrent client that's command line that actually also can talk to web peers. So WebRTC is distinct from TCP/UDP in that there's this off-ramp search exchange you have to do. You can't just arbitrarily connect to people when you know their address. It's a little bit more complicated. So if we build protocols on top of WebRTC, then what's nice is that they'll just go out of the box everywhere, in the browser and on desktop, and those apps can talk directly to each other. If you build it on any other, you build your protocol on top of any other transport, then you don't get this nice feature. So you'll see here that it works. So I'm going to pass the --VLC flag, and that tells this program to actually stream the torrent into VLC, which is a whole another set of madness that it's kind of cool. Let's see if it's just downloading the right now. I'm going to try another video. This is a Creative Commons movie called Sintel, which is really kind of cool. There we go. Okay, so it's working. So here we have a browser streaming a video to VLC on my local computer. And it gets crazier. I can actually close the browser now, and if I save this hash for later, and then opening, what happened to the whiteboard while I was gone? And I go back to this page. The VLC, this node program streaming stuff to VLC is currently the only seeder of this content. And now if I paste it in here in the browser, you'll see that it's actually going to send it back to the browser. So we have like this joined network of native and web apps. And one other thing that's kind of cool is I integrated it into this open source video player called Playback, which is pretty cool. I've been using it as my main player. So you can see that working. If I run Playback, and I go to this site here and I download a torrent file, I can drag it onto the player. And this native video player is going to also be able to get that video. So here we go. So yeah, all this is MIT licensed, and you should check out the project on GitHub. It's just called WebTorrent. And one other thing, if we have time for it, do we have time for doing another 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. So my friend John here has actually been helping me with part of this project, specifically the video streaming that you see here. Oh, I have one thing I got to show you this. Seeking works. So you can actually seek to a part of the video that the browser hasn't downloaded yet. Assuming, oh, you know what happened is I killed the seeder and VLC didn't get the full video, so that's not going to work. Anyway, trust me, the seeking works, which is crazy. It actually reprioritizes the pieces of the video that it wants to get, and then it streams in those new chunks into the video tag using this browser API called Media Source. Mostly meant for doing adaptive video streaming for sites like YouTube and just other videos. Oh, did it work? Okay, cool. Yeah. So yeah, what happened there is it reprioritized the pieces that it wanted, and then the other thing is, this MP4 was not actually designed to be used with the Media Source API. So typically you have to specifically package your MP4 in a way that the video tag wants, so that you can I forget exactly the specifics for this. Go ahead, yeah. John talk a little more about it, but anyway, it does all that in JavaScript and on the fly. So the downloader actually repackages it so that it can be streamed, which is crazy. But John's going to show you another thing he's been working on, which I think is pretty cool. It's built on top of WebRTC.
All right, come on. That was awesome.